J-Rock Show, what up? It's your man J-Rock. The Run to One wraps up with the championship game on Sunday afternoon, which means the end of the SimWorld prep season is almost upon us. It has been a very good season that has provided us with a lot of great basketball. And while a lot of players broke out and burst onto the prep scene this season, there are others who were expected to have big time roles and make that next step in terms of production, but they ended up underperforming. Now, today I'm going to talk about some of those players in SimWorld Prep who I felt underperformed this season. First up is Donovan Bird Culver. Culver went from being the second leading scorer for the North last season to averaging just 9 points per game and having his minutes slightly reduced. This can be attributed to the arrival of Akeem Young, meaning Culver was pushed out of that number 2 option role into more of a bench role. Yes, his numbers may not have taken a big dip, but I definitely expected more from him. And I believe that Wisconsin is the perfect place for him to go and expand his versatile skill set in SimWorld U. Next up, I have to go with Daniel Ori. Ori went from averaging over 10 points per game last season and finishing with 83 threes made to averaging just 7 points and only 49 threes this season. Yes, I will admit there were several outlier circumstances that could have had an effect on his play this season. The departure of Tyson Simpson, I believe, was a critical part that played into his performance. When Simpson was with BTA, opposing defenses were so focused on him that it opened up the floor for guys like Ori to knock down perimeter jumpers. I said it at multiple points during the season that a more interior based offense would be the most beneficial system for Daniel Ori because of what I just mentioned. He plays best when there is a dominant big on the inside, which opens up the rest of the floor. Now, because BTA didn't do this season, here you have the results. Do I believe that Ori can still be an effective player next season and potentially in SimWorld U? Yes, but the right system has to be in place around him. To wrap up the show today, the last guy I wanted to talk about is Aiden Weaver. Weaver was a very key contributor for Bad Boys basketball last season, but decided to ultimately take his talents down south and play for Lone Star Basketball Club for this prep season. His scoring numbers took a big downturn, and his three-point numbers were essentially sliced down by over half. Yes, Lone Star had a clear top guy in Arthur Lattimore. Yes, they had their own issues to deal with regarding their offensive scheme. This is more of a situation where I believe that his lack of production was due more to schematic issues. I believe that he and Trey Bird should have definitely had a bigger role in the offense. All right, that's going to do it for today's episode of the J-Rock Show. Thank you all for tuning in. See you next week. And as always, see the game, be the game. J-Rock out.